All right, and we're back again with the Buffalo Sabres playing Pia Pro as Alex McGillney. As you guys could see, it's now year 2, and what I was thinking was for year 2, to speed things up, what we'll go ahead and do just to add some variety to this. I believe I have a 2-year contract, so what I wanted to do for this year is just kind of sim through the year, see what happens as I get sent down shifts, sent up shifts, where things end up. And then we'll see if I'm correct, what my options are. If not, then we might have to repeat the exercise again, just to get a chance to play with another team in this series. So let's go to the calendar. And to start things off, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and just sim that preseason. So there's our last preseason game against the Leafs. So let's get up to the day just after that. Wow, he has high hopes for me this year. I don't know how high your hopes should be, since it'll be simulation me the whole year, but obviously this is predefined text. It's that time of the year again, figure out who's good enough. Oh man, I might even have an opportunity to play for Rochester if this simulation does not go well for me. Anyways, I believe I should be starting on the first line after last year. Processing, simulating. And it's a loss to Boston 5-1, a loss to Florida 4-2, a win in Ottawa, a win against Montreal. Some news on the injury front, McCormick is back. I didn't even know he was gone. It is a nothing against Detroit, 4-0 loss to Tampa Bay. What happened against Detroit? Another preseason has come and gone. I have my picks. So I hope you had a chance to get to know. Does that mean that I'm still on the roster for the Sabres? I hope so. Anyways, what we'll do is we'll go a month at a time. So starting with October. Whoops, should I just sim to the first day of the next month? Yes. Anyways, let's see how October goes. First game, it's a loss to the Hurricanes 3-1. Lost Tyler Ennis. Okay. Second game, it's a loss 5-1, a win against Florida, a loss. Yeah, clearly I haven't been doing my part, not surprised. I mean, look at that record, 1-3. So 1-4, we'll see what the Sabres are capable of without me, like simulating. So I am there, but I'm not there in the sense that I'm not directly controlling things. All right, we're 3-4-1. Evander Kane coming back. I don't remember seeing that we lost him. 3-5. 4-5. Ennis is back. Alright, wow. So, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say wow. But anyways, the point I wanted to make is that after 1 month, it looks like we are at 500. And I mean, for the Sabres, I think that is a good place to start, just to not have more losses than wins. Alright, it's a loss in Montreal, a loss in LA, okay, and now we're going back to the place that I was just talking about. A win against the Islanders, a win against the Bruins. Nice, back I am on the first forward line. 7-7, 7-8. 7-8-2, 7-9-2. Come on, where are those W's? And 7-11-2. My goodness, plummeting. 7-11-3. Oh, this is not good. Not good at all. 7-12-3. 8-12. Wow, look at all those losses in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Was it? Gergensen's is out. 1, 2, 3. Oh man, every time I try and count, the switches screens. Okay, not a good November for the Sabres, as they're now 8-13-3. Let's see if things can change for us in December. So we'll go ahead and sim to January 1st. Yes, I pressed X 3 times now, 4 times. 4th time's the charm. First game, it's a win in December. Back down the second line I go. I mean, the question is, will I get demoted to Rochester? Will it get that bad? A loss in a shootout. Gergensen's is back. It's a win against Colorado. Now we've lost them again. One guy in, one guy out seems to be a recurring theme. A loss to Tampa Bay. We got blank 3-0. 6-0, then 3-2. Wow. Jake McCabe is out. (11-16). McGinn is back. 12-16. So I mean, consistently beating the Blues, for what that's worth. A win in New Jersey. A loss against Florida. Loss against Boston. 13-18. So now we're on the third forward line. Okay, and this is what I was talking about. It may very well be the case that at this rate we could be looking at bad things in our future. Anyways, All-Star game. Let's go ahead and sim to this date. A win in Tampa Bay. Sorry, against Tampa Bay. A win in Columbus. A win in Washington. A win. Whoa. Wow. 18-18. Oh, and there's a loss against the Leafs, the reigning Cup champions. There's a loss, an overtime loss, a shootout loss. Moving up to the second forward line, yeah, after all those wins, but I guess 3 losses after that. A shootout loss, a loss, All-Star game. How about the Rangers? We're playing against the Rangers. That's a loss, 18-21. 18-22. So things were looking good for some time. Anyways, let's go through February. We are now 18-22-8. I would say it's not too different from last season, actually. 18-23. Okay, here's update on my injury. I'll be less than 100% for the next 2 days. Jake McCabe is out again, man. That guy keeps getting injuries. He missed having you around at your peak. Good news that I've been cleared. 18-25. Oh my goodness, McCabe is back. 18-26. And we need wins. There's another loss. 18-27. There we go. A win. An overtime win. Apparently I'm not cutting on the second line. Now I'm on the third line. That's fair. I can't imagine Simulation Me is doing the work that I did last season. Loss, win. Loss, loss. Man, what I didn't consider is playing like this. Who will even want me on their team after such a season? Back at 100. Alright, and going into March, we are now 10 games apart in terms of wins and losses, and I mean, that is really bad. But anyways, looks like a very saturated March in terms of games, so let's go ahead and see how we fare. Trade deadline's coming up. And there it is, and there it goes, and we lose to Oilers in overtime, lose to the Penguins, lose 4-0, 4-0, a win 4-1. Another win, a loss, a win. There's a win against Detroit. Fourth forward line, okay. Maybe I'll finish the season playing for Rochester. Oh no, Robin Lehner, not Lehner. A win in Montreal, a loss in Toronto. A win against Arizona, a loss against Philadelphia. Man, now I keep getting injured. Okay. A win in against Montreal, a loss against Florida. Okay. On the fourth line, but still technically part of the Sabres, and now we are 11 more losses than wins. I mean, We got to close that gap. A win against Boston. McGinn is back. A loss against Carolina. Was that Lehner's back? A loss against Montreal. Reinhardt is out. A win against Toronto, a loss against Pittsburgh, and a win against Florida to end the season. And so we end the season 31, 42, and 9. So not too great. I mean, definitely worse than last year with that many losses. And what we saw last time, we can go ahead and skip right ahead to past the entry draft and see what even happens. Yes, I'm aware. Man, after being in contention for the Art Ross and the Maurice Richard, this is what's happening now. How times have changed, right? Here we are in June 5th. Oh, I'm guessing it's deciding who the champions are since it's taking its time. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be anyone. And wow, the Stanley Cup champions are the Minnesota Wild. And the Calder Cup champions are the Syracuse Crunch. Definitely did not ever think that Minnesota would win it in year 2, I guess this is, of Be a Pro. And there we are. We've made it to June 24th. And simulate to next season. Maybe I misunderstood something about... And I'm a 78 overall now, power forward. Will there be any changes, or was I wrong and I have to actually do 3 years with Buffalo? Man, maybe I was mistaken. I don't know. '78 overall power forward. Haven't seen any prompts about changing teams. Huh. Then I guess this will be a video with a lot of simulating. Yeah, sure enough, still a member of the Sabres, and I just realized that I have the thing up from Twitch. I mean, this is going straight to YouTube, so that definitely wasn't needed. Anyways, okay, so I'm 79 overall, I'm still on the Sabres, and I guess we're going through the same routine again. But out of curiosity, has the Sabres roster changed? View lines. Alright, we got Kane, O'Reilly, and Ennis. McGinn, Molson, and Reinhardt. So Reinhardt is in. Foligno, Gergensons, and Josephson. And then finally, D'Amigo, Larson, and everyone's favorite 79 overall right winger. Wow. They actually are better than me. Okay, defense. Ristolainen, Bogosian, Georgeson, McCabe, Weber, and Pissick. So McCabe wasn't there before, so who is not part of the thing that was here before? Donovan, I guess. And the goalies are Lehner and Johnson. Lehner's now 86. Okay. Interesting. Alright, well, you guys know the drill. We go to start off by simming through the preseason. high hopes for me this year. You shouldn't after I got to the 4th line last year. I may very well be playing in Rochester this year. What NHL team would even want me, alright? Win against Boston, win against Florida. Whoa, 7-6, 3-1, 6-3, 5-2. And wow, even our preseason efforts are terrible this year. We're 2-4-1. Let's see. A preseason is a great time. We believe we'll be seeing a lot of some of these players in the future. Wait, am I even still on the Buffalo Sabres? I mean, I guess otherwise it would be showing me the Rochester Americans logo, so let's see. Let's start that regular season off, and it's a loss, a win, a win, a loss. 2-2-1. Lost to Philadelphia and Toronto. We beat Detroit 3-4-1. Johan Larsson got injured. A win against Florida. A win against the Islanders. And a win against the Stars. And just like that, wow. I think this is the first time I've ever seen Buffalo with a positive record. 6-4-1. And let's sim to the end of November now. Wow, moving up to the 3rd forward line. And Larson is back. That might even be bad news. I mean, he left and it looks like he went on a tear. Look at that. Now there's a loss. Man, Larson, injure yourself again. I mean, that's a terrible thing to say, but come on. 7-7. Okay, we're back to 500 now. And now we're going in the wrong direction. 7-9. 7-10. 8-10. 10-2 against Montreal. Wow. That's a game to be remembered. 9-11. 10-11. And how will we end it? Will we end it at 500 playing against the Predators? End the month, that is. Ristolainen is out. I'm up to the 2nd forward line. And we lose. So we're 10-12. And look at that. The Rangers are actually 11-11. What we want it to be. So let's check out what happens at the end of December. 3-0 win against the Rangers. A loss to Arizona. Ristolainen is back. A loss against the Kings. A loss against Montreal. Both in the shootout. Look at that. OTL, SOL, SOL, OTW. Wow. A lot of overtimes. Win. Okay, 14-12. 15-12. There's a loss. There's a win. 16-12-5. Laner's back to active duty. Putting you on the 3rd line. Man, have not been doing my part for the 2nd line, have I? 17-12-5. Clearly someone is stepping up and playing out the win in the shootout. Larson is out again. Well, I guess 6-3. That's a win. There's a loss to Detroit. Will we beat St. Louis? Yep. 20-13-6. Wow, okay. Buffalo had themselves a good December. If I'm not missing anything from the months before in my head here. Alright, let's see what happens in January. Starting the month off with a win. A win against the Islanders. Moving up to the 2nd forward line. A win against Vancouver. A win against Calgary. A win against Anaheim. Man. 25-13. Okay, it looks like things have turned around for the Sabres. There's a shootout loss. There's a win against Toronto. Okay, I mean, If Buffalo's playing like this and they manage to make it somewhere, I'll have to participate in the playoffs this year. A loss and a win. As they say, sometimes people who weren't so instrumental in the season can be instrumental in the playoffs. Ristolainen's out with an injury. 28-14. My goodness, there's a loss to the Capitals. Ristolainen's back. A loss to the Winnipeg Jets. Maybe I should stop talking because maybe I might speak too soon. Alright, let's go through February. Starting with the game against the Rangers. And it's a loss. A loss to the Sharks. A loss to the Penguins. Okay. Putting you on the third forward line. There's a loss to the Flyers. A win against the Lightning. A loss to the Senators. 3-0 against the Devils. Weber's out with an injury. A win against Colorado. A loss. Man, a lot of close games for us going to OT, I've noticed. A win in a shootout going up to second forward line. A loss. A win against the Senators. And look at that, 33-21-9. Man, who would have thought? And let's go to April and see what happens. Can we keep things going like this? A win, a loss. A loss. Weber is back. A loss against the Kings. Lost against the... Okay, now I'm injured. Man, look at that. San Jose, well, they were 40-21, 34-26 for us. Okay. The gap between wins and losses is starting to close. This is bad. 34-28. 34-29. Third forward line. Yep. Saw that coming with all these losses. A win against Ottawa. A win against Toronto. A loss against Boston. And I was hoping for a win there, but a loss against the Panthers. Right, so right now we're 5 games ahead in terms of wins. And let's see what happens when we get to the end of the season. A loss against Detroit. We beat Toronto 5-1. Lose to the Islanders 5-1. And let's look at these games back-to-back against the Lightning. 7-4 win. Moving me up to the second forward line to end the season. And a loss 3-0. Now, where does that put Buffalo with a record of 38-34-10? Oh, look at that. 80 power forward. What is it that I want to see? How do I look at what I'm trying to look at? Team stats. I mean, I'm really trying to look at like team standings. Oh, okay. Wow, could not make it to the playoffs. Okay, man, I got my hopes up for nothing, I guess. And as an 80 power forward, I mean, at least I ended it on the second forward line, so definitely a better year for me. And that's good because, as I was saying, this will probably now be the year that we get to sign a contract with another team. So let's see what happens for us. Bogosian's back in the lineup. That's not really going to change much, right? Because we're not in the postseason again. But to say that that's surprising, I mean, we definitely had a better effort this year. Especially there was like 1 or 2 months that were very exciting to watch. But let's see what happens in the playoffs here as we sim through April. Simming through May. I guess we didn't look at it last year. We should actually, this year, stop the sim just before. Because what we didn't do last year is look at the playoff tree, and it would have been interesting to see why the Wild got where they got, but the finishing thing's taking a while. So let's hope that if they do already show us who won, that they don't take away the playoff tree. Alright, Tampa Bay Lightning, who we faced at the end of the season, were actually the Stanley Cup champions, and the Marlies won the Calder Cup. Okay, so can I please see the tree? I'm now 80 overall. Maybe I was already 80 overall. Is that Central that I want to look at? Playoff tree, right. So, let's take a look at what happened in the playoffs. On our side, so we had the Lightning taking on the Leafs 4-2. The Senators blanked the Red Wings 4-0. Pittsburgh blanked the Jackets 4-0, and Philadelphia took out the Rangers with ease. Then the second round, the Pittsburgh Penguins took out Philadelphia 4-1, and Tampa Bay a hard-fought one against the Senators, but they managed to take it in 7. And then after that, even though the Penguins beat the Flyers 4-1, the Lightning actually beat the Penguins 4-1. And then the Avalanche made it through on the other side, defeating the Kings, the Oilers, and the Blues. And then in the end, it was Colorado taking on the Lightning, and the Lightning won in 6 games. So that was the playoffs. Now, let's go ahead and sim to next season. And if I'm still a member of the Sabres, I'm going to be very surprised. Because I did not know I got signed for such a long contract. But let's see. I mean, sim to next season, I don't see anything about contract negotiations. I feel like such a thing would be prompted to me, would it not? There we go. I have some contract offer information for you to consider. Well, my phone has been ringing off the hook. Seems like there's a lot of league interest in a power forward like you. I have 4 offers for you to consider. Alright. Oh, I thought that was the Leafs for a second in the corner there. Okay, so we can remain at Buffalo for a yearly salary of under $1 million. And it's I don't know what contract one-way means. Then we can play with the Avalanche, who were 41-35 last year. That's a 3-year contract. The Canadians, who were 42-33. Or we can go to the Stanley Cup winning Tampa Bay Lightning. So the question is, do I want to play with Stamkos? Do I want Carey Price between the pipes? So let's look at salary, right? Here I'm getting 0.82, still not even getting $1 million, mind you. Here I'm getting 0.83, 0.82. This contract is shorter. I'm actually interested. So I'm trying to think with the Lightning. They've got Ben Bishop, and these guys have Varlamov, but it's a 3-year deal. But they lost, so I feel like it's more interesting to play for the Colorado Avalanche. Like the Lightning, they just won. But that's an interesting question. These guys clearly have more right wingers. So in terms of who to go to, man, I'm not even sure, because I'm actually surprised that these 2 guys are putting up offers. Let's see. 9 right wingers, 41-35. These guys were 47-26. They just had an absolutely dominant year. But there's 16 right wingers. Yeah, let's go to the runners-up. Let's join the Avalanche. Welcome to your new team. The Colorado Avalanche organization is thrilled you accepted our contract offer. We were looking to sign a power forward. I hope I can help you guys too. Let's go ahead and change that UI to accommodate the change. And there I am in my Avalanche uniform. And we'll go ahead and sim to the next season. Man, must have done something right if both the teams who were in the Stanley Cup Finals were looking for a guy like me. I don't know if that's what the game does for everyone, so to speak, but I'm not complaining. Although who knows, you know, after you make the finals the next year, nothing is guaranteed. In fact, sometimes you have the opposite, right, where they were in the finals and then all of a sudden they're at the bottom, so to speak. Or not even so to speak, but that's just the reality. Alright, here's that long simulation. Still simming to the next season. Alright. And there we are. So our first preseason game will be against the Blackhawks, and I'm now 81 overall. So doing a lot of improving while simming through things. And just to take a look, is it growth I want to look at? Shooting is 8, puck skills is 9, senses is 8, skating is 8, physical is 9, defense is weak, but I mean I'm a power forward. Slap shot power 87, wrist shot power 86, puck controls an 86. What about my speed? 83. Okay, I'm not quite sure what it was before, but I'm gonna hope that I'm a quicker guy now. And we'll end the video on that note. We are out.